Mary Meet Starshines. I just want to go over last week's reading for the Astro Tarot Report show. If you missed that, you can go on over to the cauldron.net. It is in the archives, but I just wanted to share this spread with you really quick. Tonight, we will be having another show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so come and check that out, as it's really exciting about what's going on in our planets right now, and it explains a lot of what's going on in our world today. So I just want to focus right now on this reading right here. I'll do this in parts so I won't go too fast for you. Now this is the overall energy of the week, and I pulled, you can see two cards here. I pulled two cards, and actually when I pulled it, I picked this one, but the High Priest was stuck to the bottom of it. So it came out basically, when I pulled it, it was like this, and I was like, wait a minute, there's two cards. So long story short, we had two cards pulled for the overall energy. Now what I find very interesting here is that the Seven of Swords is always the card of gathering up what you need, it's time to move on. And in this card, you can see that this man is doing just that. He's got 5 swords in his little satchel there. He's leaving 2 behind. And if you notice the look on his face there, get that really close, you can see, he's happy with himself. He's really happy. He's proud of what he's doing. He's proud of what he's received. He has what he needs, and he's holding his hand on it. So, he's very satisfied with all that he has achieved and all that he has worked for. And it looks like he's in like a festival. Maybe he was like a fair type of area, and you can see the flags in the back are in the air. The wind is blowing, and you can look and you can see that the storm clouds are rolling in. So this is about someone where, they've done some work, they've done what they could do, they're happy with what they've accomplished, they're happy with the work that they're doing, they're gathering up what they need, they're leaving behind what's going to hold them back, and they're ready to go. Now, this card, the High Priest, is about the authority. And I think it was kind of odd for it to be stuck to the bottom of that. As it feels like maybe, you're ready to move on, you're ready to go to that next level, but yet something's holding you back. Maybe something legal, something that you are attached to, something that you are bound to, something that is preventing you from making that next step. So when you have everything that you need, you're satisfied with where you are, and you're ready to move forward, you have this. And the priest is an older gentleman, as you can see. And he is the wise one. He is the one that you would go to for advice, for that sage wisdom. He's a keeper of the magical traditions and knowledge. The gods, the deities of this card are Horus, Jupiter, Mithras, and he's the sage. And this is the sign of Taurus, which is, very, very beneficial as we just went into Taurus season. And again, this was last week's reading, so this was May 2nd through the 9th. So we had just entered that Taurus season. So, many times we can be ready to move on. There's things that are holding us back. There's some loose ends that we have to tie. And I think this card is really hitting in on that, is that that it's time to go, but there's just some final things that you need to take care of. And you need to make sure that you don't, that you dot those I's and cross those T's, and make sure you do that. This could be someone that's been separated for a long time. Maybe it's time for that divorce. Maybe it's time, you're in business with someone and you need to move on. Maybe it's time you have to sell that. sell your part of it and move on. You know, it was stuck to the bottom. So it's almost like it's stuck to your shoe. So, you know, swords are about clarity as well. They represent the element air. So this could be something that maybe you didn't have complete clarity on, that is preventing you from moving forward. This could also go into traditions, or the way that you were raised. Those conditionings and programmings that we have in our mind can prevent us from moving forward to something that we want to do, because it could be seen not right, not orthodox, not, you know, just not something you should do, period. So I thought that was quite interesting because of all the activity that we had that was going on. You know, Saturn and Pluto is really, really having a dance there. So, but, you know, if you tune in tonight, I'm going to really get into what all is going on with that. I'll be more clear about that. So our next card that we had is the Ace of Swords. Uh-oh, that's too close. Sorry about that. The Ace of Swords. I always love aces because aces are raw, potent energy. It's pure energy. It is that rush of energy. And, you know, swords represent air. They're about messages. And the interesting thing about swords is that they are reflective, just as they are double-edged. See, that's a double-edged sword. So it can go into some self-reflection that is needed to find out, to have more clarity over a situation. This is our conscious energy. So with this, following these two, yeah, there seems to be, the reason that you can't move on, there is something stuck to your shoe that you need a little bit more clarity. You know that it's not all together with you yet. Now, aces are pioneering energy. It's individualistic, it's independent. This is the leader number, and it's primal energy. So there's a there's a red-tailed hawk, trying to put all that together, that's flying right above that. Now, hawks are known for their keen sight. And when they are hunting, they're very exact. Now, there's a mountain range in the back, and that's showing the challenges that you may have to overcome to get to this clarity, to get to this truth. This is dawn. So, and you know, I'm really getting the message of looking deeper into ourselves to find more clarity, to gain more personal power. Like I said, this is potent energy, so it's in its purest form. And with all of the Mercury, if you all remember, Mercury was in retrograde. And if you've been listening to my shows, you know it's had a little bit of aspects. So there's a lot of foggy type energy around. This is cutting through that. This is bringing clarity. You need to be more clear with yourself as well. You know, we all are in different areas of our lives. We have different things going on in our lives. But right here, this could be about you standing up for your truth. And that could really connect you to these other two cards here. Standing up for who you are, standing up for your truth. It's time to clear the air. It's time to get rid of all the drama, all the fogginess. You see, aces are about success. And this card in particular is about truth and victory. So don't doubt yourself. You need to get to the core of things. There's some things that aren't quite clear. So you need to get down to the deep clarity, the deep core of what it is. Now, our subconscious energy, which I thought this was, you know, quite interesting as well, is the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands represent fire. And if you'll see all the women dancing around there, they all have different colors on that represent what? The four elements. You see all that? It's a really beautiful card. This is a wonderful deck, and I'll tell you the name of it in just a minute. But this is a really beautiful deck, and this is our unconscious energy. So this energy is about celebration. It's about a festival. It could be a hand fasting. I thought it was kind of neat. I'm doing a hand fasting this weekend. I pulled this card, and I was like, wow. Because this is a celebration. This is an event, and it's a fertility card as well. This card is linked to the Sabbath Beltane, which was really funny, me drawing this card when it's right at Beltane. So this card plays into that energy. And, subconsciously in this position, you could be feeling that the hopefulness of the end. You're conscious of needing to clear the air. You're conscious of having to speak that truth. But your subconscious is saying, you really need to bring some joy into your life. You really need to bring some of that good feeling. When you're working hard and you're accomplishing whatever it is, are you really enjoying it? Now, there is a castle in the background there. I'm not sure if, you can see it right there. Castles represent goals that have been reached, like achievements, things like that. So you have won something. You have reasons to celebrate. You do have those. And you have to acknowledge those things that you have achieved, that which you have done. And you're not fully acknowledging all the accomplishments that you've made. So this being an unconscious position, that's exactly what it's saying to me, that it's time for you to acknowledge what you've done. It's time for a celebration. And remember, when we're out there in the world, we have to compete in certain things, but competition isn't really with other. Competition is with yourself. You must compete with yourself to see just exactly what you can do, what you can achieve, the clarity that you can bring. Now, our next card, which is our challenges, and this card shows up in this week's reading as well. And this is another sword. So here we have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, well, he's holding up his sword of truth there. And he's telling you that it's time to stand up. It's time to stand up, and it's time to make people hear you. This being in a challenge position, it is one where your message and your words may not be received well. Now, if you look at what he's wearing yellow, which represents the earth. He's wearing the gold crown with blue topaz in it, and that's about knowledge. So he has the knowledge. Kings are very knowledgeable. They're very smart. But I really want you to focus in on his sword of truth. Now, if you look at him, he's looking at us very attentively. His eyes are a little scrunched up. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to see what it's about. And that's what he does. Swords slice through. They slice through the fog. They slice through the uncertainty. They slice through those things that are causing us to not have complete clarity over the situations. Now, this king, he's about justice, honor, ethics, and of course, logic. He invites us to turn our logic into action. This card is represents the astrological sign of Aquarius. And you know, Aquarius is our forward thinker. So there could be some ideas that you have, some wonderful ideas that could be very inventive, maybe before your time, that you're really going to have to make people listen to. They may not hear you first. So, you know, this being in your challenge, it's going to be a challenge to get your message across and to get people to hear what you have to say. You know, and also with him, as he is holding that sword up, is, are you living your truth? Are you being truthful with yourself and who you are? To thine own self be true, right? Our outcome is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles, I love this card as well. I mean, I honestly love this whole deck. I really, really do. It's a beautiful deck. And you'll see the Three Pentacles up there. And you see him, this student here, and he's working very hard. He looks like he's drawing a pentacle on the paper there. You see his pretty little cat there with him, his little familiar. This is the card of the student. He has everything on his desk there that he needs. He's working, he's thinking, he is very much in that moment. This also represents the element Earth. All pentacles represent the element Earth, which is Taurus energy. Okay? So, 3 is about manifestation as well. And you can tell all that he's wearing, he's dressed in that earthy green. That's further connecting him to the earth element. He's creative, he's focused, and he's a hard worker. And this card is in the position of the message from Spirit. So the message from Spirit is telling you that you need to stay dedicated to your goals, stay focused on your path, carry out your task, adjust what needs to be adjusted to get yourself in alignment with the journey or the path that you want to take. You will reap the benefits from the work that you will put in. So remember that. The work that you're putting in will be coming back to you. You may need to make sure that yourself is, your whole body, your whole person is in alignment. Your mind, body, and heart, soul, everything. Now the number 3 is the bringer of change. It is about acknowledging the divine spark within you. So this is the master manifester. This is creating newness. So with this card, that's exactly what this spirit is trying to tell you, is that to remain focused on the path that you're on. Things will come from this that will help you materially. If you're a student, it is telling you to pursue on. If you're wanting to study a different area, this card is telling you that that is a good idea for you to do. So our underlying energy is the Knight of Pentacles. And I love this card as well. There's the buck. That is that wonderful divine masculine energy right there. It's a beautiful card. Beautiful, beautiful card. And if you notice, he's not carrying a sword. He's carrying a gold pentacle. Now, knights are always bringers of messages. And as he is sitting there on his black horse, he is bringing us a golden pentacle. Pentacles are earth. They represent our material, our physical things. Also, just a little FYI, all knights represent the element fire. So here we have fire and earth. This is about movement, a quick movement. It's about taking one step at a time. It's about knowing that there is a method to this growth. It's about enjoying the journey instead of focusing on the destination. Many times we can be so attached to an outcome, we do not get the benefits of the lessons along the way. And when we are focused on our outcome, many times we don't see the blessings that are around us. We can become we can have tunnel vision. We can be so focused. There is a castle in the background. Let me see if I can get you to see this. See? Can't see that up there. But anyway, that is the reading from last week. And I meant to put this up earlier. I'm very sorry I didn't. So today it's a little rushed. I'm sorry if I sound a little scattered a little bit with this, but y'all know that I am a writer, so doing all of these videos is quite new to me. So just hang in there. I'm getting the hang of this all. I am exploring the details, and I'm enjoying my journey along the way. I'm watching this flower bloom petal by petal, and it's been very, very interesting. So tune in tonight, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the AstroTarot show on the Cauldron.net. Please remember we do have a chat room, so if you're able to come on in the chat room, I'll be in there and you can chat with me. Come on and say hey. So, thank y'all so much, and I will see you all tonight, and I will be putting up an updated video for this newer reading, hopefully by the weekend. Thank you all very much for watching and listening to this, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. And oh, I almost left out the Fae message. Oh my goodness, let me do the Fae message really quick. Also, this deck right here is the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan, the Fae message, and this is the, let me back up from this a little bit. This is the wisdom. Let's see here. This is the, hang on a second. This is by Lucy Cavendish. This is the Wisdom of the Faery deck by Lucy Cavendish. And this card, the Fae message of last week, was the Grail Fairy. Fertility, the return of life, health, and life cycles. And wasn't that a perfect card for Beltane? That is exactly what Beltane energy is about. Beltane energy is about rebirth. You know, the earth is blooming. Everything is happening. It is a fire festival. It is about fertility. So this is an awesome fairy for this time. The Grail, the Cauldron, represents the womb of the goddess, where all life comes from. You know, sometimes we get caught up on the death part. We can get caught up on the losing, that we don't realize that it is time for a rebirth. When something exits our life, it is time for something new to come in, for a rebirth to happen. And this card specifically is saying that it is time for a new beginning. It's time for a new start. It's time for rebirth. It's telling you to honor the cycles of life. The maiden, the mother, and the crone. And this card represents the maiden and the mother energy. Also, this could be telling you to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. See all the water here? Purity of the body. So there you go. There's your complete reading. I'm sorry I left that out. I hope you enjoyed that. And the decks that I was using again, and I will include them in the description. I was using the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan, and I was using the Wild Wisdom of the Faery Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I really appreciate you taking time and listening to me. Merry part until we merry meet again.